Hey people, what's going on? Welcome to Real Tough Talk. Tough Talk.
How is that even possible?
Tough Talk.
Whoa! Stephen J. partner goes,
Show some respect. You did not answer the question.
he's a bad man.
Bad man.
He's a bad. He finally said it.
The slipper's gone. The dress has holes in it. The cart turned into a pumpkin again. So what else you gonna do?
I guess this team couldn't cover a twin mattress with a king size sheet.
Lights out season.
Lights out for you. Let's get as quick into the game as possible because I am not staying in this wig longer than I have to.
I want to part. Play it out, bro. While you talking this game.
What is going on, people? I want to thank you for joining us again on another episode of Real Tough Talk. I'm so humbled to have you here today. I'm Stephen J, here with my partner Ghost, and we're over on Zoom again, going over the shows that happened this week in the UFL League.
I mean, it's just crazy that we're already in week 8. It feels like the season just flew by, with all the things that's going on this year. One thing that was a great distraction this season so far was that we got to see some great football games out here this season, and I'm glad that we're able to do what we do because it's always enjoyable at the end of the day.
And Zoom has been a blessing. Our schedules really clashed this season for the first time, and Zoom actually helped us be able to keep the show going every week. Hopefully we'll be in the studio at least 1 or 2 more times before we end the season. But definitely Zoom has been a blessing. So appreciate everybody being comfortable with the new normal that we have.
We want to make sure we get our show there as long as people are watching and not seeing any issues with what we're doing. We're glad to do our best to give y'all consistent content out there. And everybody's been patient with us this season, so I really appreciate that people have been watching. People have been paying attention to what we do, and it hasn't slowed down based on our whole situation with our scheduling. We were still able to bring the show to you guys.
All right, with that being said, we're going to jump into the first game. And the first game we're going to go over is Blackout versus Grindtime. Blackout is coming in off of a win to UTF, and Grindtime is coming in off of a win to the Raiders. So both of the teams are coming in off of a win. The thing about these teams is a little different is, Blackout, first of all, Grindtime is a back-to-back championship appearances. And this game is practically for first place in the division, and they're trying to solidify themselves as a top team that's able to get back to another championship.
One thing I can say is that Grindtime's defense has really been a huge factor this season. I believe that they're in third right now, and that can change based on this game because, they've been playing well. They've been, keeping teams in a lot of low-scoring games, and that's one thing that you always give this team because Lou has not had his best season, giving up a lot of pick sixes, throwing more interceptions than he did the whole of last season up until this point. So the defense has really stepped up, picked up the slack, and kept them in contention.
And on the other side, like we've been saying before, Blackout has been a team that is trying to show that they can win games on the road. Blackout is a BQFL team that everybody knows. I always like to say it's like being, the Intercontinental champion because we all know the A division of Super Friends, YMM, Underrated, teams like that, Bama. All those teams. But this is like for the Intercontinental. And if you remember, like I always said, we had some great Intercontinental champions.
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior, Ravishing Rick Rude, $1 Million Man.
Listen, these analogies.
I just like to get the audience to understand how important this division is on the level that we're on. We still got a lot of top players in this division. Now, back to Blackout, their offense haven't looked as powerful as it did in the beginning. That has a lot to be the fact that Mace hasn't been here, but the main guy has been Brandon. And it's been, I believe, the last 3 games. And their offense has really struggled since his injury. Their efficiency has dropped. It was a top-known team, and now their offensive efficiency dropped to 9th place. So that's something that's really uncommon for this team. but their defense has been holding them down. Their defense is the number 2 on efficiency, they're number 3 in efficiency, and they're number 2 defense in the league. As you can see here, giving up close to only 9.4 points a game. This defense is something to be reckoned with. Like I said, their offense has struggled a little bit, but the defense has definitely picked up where the offense left off.
And much needed, because this team, again, you mentioned that this team, kind of slowed down with their offense or whatnot. I don't like the whole excuse about, that they don't have Brandon, anything like that. I don't like hearing that, because at the end of the day, they have to play with the guys they have. So they shouldn't have this issue because of one guy that was never really a part of their team before the season. So
They're
I don't want to
12th.
hear.
They're
Listen,
12th in scoring.
I got you. So if that's the case, because of one guy that they didn't have before, all of a sudden he's going missing, and they're 12th, that shows that their offense was never good in the first place. Regardless if there was in the BQFL or anything like that, then they got to look themselves in the mirror and see if we were really that good in the first place. If they come here and one guy can change the whole dynamic of their offense. Now I just wanted to go on that short tangent there, because I'm tired of that excuse about Blackout, missing Brandon and whatnot. I don't want to hear that. Now, I just wanted to say it kind of hurt when you brought up the whole, it's a continental champion thing. Not to go on a separate note, but it made me feel old, because that's so far back in the day, back in the 80s or whatnot. It reminded me of how old I am, and definitely how old you are. So I don't want to keep talking about that, because it's kind of depressing.
Well, we could talk about the Blackout defense, led by their linebacker, Mike, definitely a guy who brings pressure all the time. You see Macho making big plays. He made big plays last week. And then you also see guys like Kenny, who leads the charge in the secondary. So this defense is something to be reckoned with. And they're facing a Grindtime defense, like you said earlier, who's another team to be reckoned with defensively. This team is number 3 in overall defense. In efficiency, they're the second best defense in efficiency. You have to mention that when you talk about this team. Teams are only able to score on this defense 20% of the time. This is a great defense both ways, and we expect to see a big game today. All right, we're going to jump into the game right now with Blackout getting the ball. Alex is going to roll right and throw to Kenny in the middle, who gets tagged for no gain. Third down, Alex goes to the in the gap. He's going to be dropped. Blackout is going to have to punt. On their first possession, like I said, this offense has not been as they were in the beginning of the season, and they're ready to start off the beginning of the game and stop having fun.
And just showing that first play that we showed on second down, that just looked like they had no idea what to do with that offensive play right there. If you have plays like this that you're not moving the ball, you're not going to be successful in getting into the end zone. And this is an issue that Blackout has been having the last couple of games, and they're still having that same problem in this one right here.
Grindtime is going to get the ball, and they're not able to depend on their drive. Starting out pretty slow, and they're going to have to punt. Listen, I've been saying it. Lou does not look like the league MVP that he looked last season, and this team is really depending on their defense to carry them until Lou starts getting his mojo back. Blackout is going to get the ball back. After getting the first down, Alex on 4 rush runs in the gap for a decent game. Third down, Alex is blitzed by Rico, who's blocked by Kenny. Alex goes to meet in the middle. Low and incomplete. Blackout will have to punt for the second time in this game.
What else is there to say that I haven't said already? They're not moving the ball, but I'm not going to even speak about Blackout's offense anymore, because it is what it is. But I got to give credit to this Grindtime defense. This is how they've been playing the last couple of games. They've really stepped up and showed that their defense is to be worried about. Yes, Blackout is number 2, but we can't forget that Grindtime is right behind them at number 3. And a game like this, if they're able to keep up with a game like this playing defense, I think that they could take that second spot away from Blackout.
Fourth and long, after 2 short passes, Lou with blocker from Luke goes right, goes deep to Anthony in the gap for a huge gain, first down. As Lou scrambles, the safety step up, leaving Anthony open deep. Let me explain something to you. I know we've been saying Lou does not look like he looked last season, but he's still a top quarterback in this league, especially in this position. Dude is a capable playmaker. Anthony's not having the season they had last year, especially spreading the field, but that doesn't mean they're not capable of doing it. And they do it here. Safety step up, and Lou makes them pay. finding Anthony downfield.
And the thing about this is now you finally had hear Anthony's name being called more on the field. You haven't really been seeing him too much this season. Finally, he's able to start getting the ball, and I think that when he gets into the game and starts becoming a factor on offense again, I think that that's going to improve Lou's numbers overall. But that's a good way to get him open on this play here.
2nd and goal. Lou finds Bo in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. 6-0. Grindtime scores.
And the catalyst for this drive was Anthony on that big play right there. Blackout missed the ball on this play. They saw Lou scrambling on this play, and because of that, they stepped up. But Lou is not a runner, so you gotta stay with the receivers. They move away from Anthony. He's left wide open for that big play, and that led to that touchdown there. Wait for them to finish the drive, taking advantage of that big play right there.
Blackout's going to get the ball for the 3rd possession. Blackout is going to get the ball going 4 now. Alex gets blitzed by Jigga. Those of ID in the gap. The ball is dropped, picked off by Prince Mo, and we're blocking from Jigga. Prince Mo runs it all the way into the end zone for the touchdown. Prince Mo gets a 2-point conversion. 14-0. Grindtime.
And the pressure made a big difference on that play right there. Them putting the pressure, the secondary taking advantage, and them getting 6 points on the field. Now they're doing it to other teams when this has been happening to Lou. Now Alex has to suffer from that as well.
And I'm still baffled. How did Prince Mo drop all the way to 8th in the draft? 7 other teams passed up Prince Mo, a former UFL Offensive Player of the Year, a former UFL All-Star, and he's a UFL champion. Well, how can you let this man fall so low in the draft? He's making guys pay. He's been playing great this season. That's a big play by him on the defensive side of the ball. Blackout gets the ball back again on the 4 now. 2nd now, we're blocking from Shaq. Alex goes deep to Kenny on the sideline. Kenny jumps, makes the catch into the end zone for the touchdown. Shaq gets the extra point, 14-7. The question is, did Kenny push off here? Tell me what you see.
And looking at this play here, as the ball is thrown, you see Bo in the vicinity to make a defensive play. And as he goes up, it looks like there was contact being made as Kenny goes up. I can't see it. It's hard to see clearly, but it looked like there was some contact. Unfortunately for Blackout, the ref that was in the vicinity does not throw the flag. He didn't see the push-off, so Kenny's able to get the play, sticking with the ball for the touchdown there.
Listen, they might have gotten away with it. It happens in football. Unfortunately, it's a part of the game. So it's like, listen, sometimes that light is yellow and you're trying to beat that light before it turns red to not get caught by the flash. Sometimes you get caught, sometimes you don't. And he might have got away with it. He caught the ref. If he did, he caught the ref in a blind spot that the ref couldn't see it. There was a lot of collision going on there. It's hard to see from the angle. So Kenny, being a veteran he is, if he did push, got away with one. But my thing is, it took them so long to score, and it took them to make a play like this and catch a break to score. So I would be a little concerned if I'm Blackout for that. But at the end of the day, they still get into the end zone. Grindtime can't get a score before the half, and we're going to go into the half, 14-7, Grindtime.
And if I'm Grindtime, I'm upset about that play. You know, they got away. They probably would have got away with one, and I believe that it was in their opinion that they did get away with one. But at the end of the day, if that's the only way, like you just referenced just now, if that's the only way that they can score, then I'm not worried too much. You know, as long as they're playing defense and locking up and making Alex's job hard by making plays like that, I think that Grindtime is in good shape. And Lou finally getting Anthony involved. All of these players that weren't really involved this season, they need to get involved. Finally, they are. Lou is not necessarily having to force passes. As long as he's staying comfortable in the pocket and he's not worried too much about the pressure, I think that the second half is looking good as long as they keep this momentum up.
Alex has to learn to trust Shaq. Shaq is up there for blocker of the year because he's good at protecting the quarterback. I believe sometimes Alex get a little rattled And that's what it comes down to. It comes down to him trusting him. Alex is a much more accurate passer than what we've seen today, and he's definitely have to learn to trust his blockers. Now, on the other side, this blackout defense, led by the pressure of Mike's pass rush, is definitely capable of making plays. But it doesn't help when Alex is throwing a pick six. It doesn't help. The one thing I respect about the blackout defense, they don't mind going out on the field. Similar to that Ravens defense that won the Super Bowl. When the offense is not able to score, they look forward to going out on the field and making stops.
Yeah.
So as long as Alex has a defense like that behind him, he has an opportunity to win every game. He has to limit his turnovers. He has to limit his inaccuracy, and he has to limit giving the teams opportunities to score on his mistakes. That's the key to this, and I put it out on Tone. He has to get Alex and the rest of this offense more efficient because they have not been playing the way they should in the last few weeks. We're going to jump right into the second half. We're getting the first down. Lou with 3 passes in the gap for a nice game, getting them near the 10-yard line. Fourth down. The blocker from Luke. Luke throws it up, knocked away by Mace, but Lucas is flagged for contact in the end zone. 5 yards, replay it down. What you think of the play?
I think that this was an unnecessary contact in the end zone. They had to stop on that play, and unfortunately, Lucas gets caught with contact in the end zone. My thing is, they don't get this flag. This is a turnover on downs. But because they got caught with one here, now Grindtime has another opportunity to get into the end zone.
4th and goal. Lou with blocker from Luke. Lou's going to roll right. Find Prince Mo, cutting in the front of the end zone. For the touchdown. 22-7. Grindtime as Bo gets the 2-point conversion. The question is, did Lou cross the line? That was one thing that Blackout thought. Tell me what you see.
It's hard for us to see exactly where the line is, especially with the way Lou is rolling out. It is a close one. It can go either way, in my opinion. But the thing about it is, this would not have happened if they didn't give up the flag. So it doesn't matter. You're looking for a flag after you got caught with one. Clearly, this is a close play. It can go either way. The one that you got caught was a clear flag. So at the end of the day, you were supposed to stop them. You gave them enough opportunity for the game. Fortunately for Lou, he's able to find his receiver to the end zone for the touchdown. That's just them taking advantage of the flag that they got.
After getting the first down, Alice on 4 rush, rolls left, dodges Mijo, throws a breezy in the middle for a decent game. Was this a sack by Mijo? I think he missed. I think the diving sack is one of the hardest ones to see in football. And Mijo got to learn to stop leaving his feet and hoping to make this diving tag. There is no way Alex should get by you. You should be able to make this tag clear. It looks like he missed. 3rd down, Alex finds Kenny cutting in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. If you look here, Kenny beats the defender as he cuts inside. Mace gets the 2-point conversion. 22-14. Blackout comes back and scores.
And that's plays that you need to see Kenny make more often. And he's one person that when he's stepping up to make a play, that's exactly what happened. This is why Blackout drafted him. Whenever he puts himself out there and plays for his team, he's able to make some big plays. And this is yet another play that he's able to make in this game.
3rd down, Lou gets the ball back. He throws it to Ruben in the gap, open in the gap. That's going to be dropped. And I talked about Luke Ruben before. Ruben was a former top player, especially in that Browns passing attack. He's a big playmaker, but sometimes he lets these get away from him. After getting the first down, Lou throws a Prince Mo in the gap, knocked away by Mace. 3rd down, Lou throws a Rico in the gap, dropped, and Grindtime will have to punt. That is an issue. 2 big drops on this drive, and Grindtime has to get the ball up. Blackout is going to get the ball. 2nd down, Alex on 4 rush, runs onto the sideline for a nice game, pick up the first down. Alex has to use his heads. He has to learn to run the ball more, call a few more running plays. He got a lot of big, tough, strong guys to block. So let them earn their money and block. Great run there. Alex with blocking from Shaq, goes deep to Mace, open in the gap, overthrown. That is a huge miss by Alex. 2nd down, Alex with blocking from Shaq, throws an AB on the sideline, off target, picked off by Jigga, ending the game. Grindtime's going to come away with the win, 22-14.
And this just shows that their offense hasn't been looking the same as they usually do. This was a wide open pass downfield to Mace, and Alex clearly misses him. No defender is there. That's a touchdown waiting to happen, but Alex is not able to make an accurate throw. And then on the next one, Alex makes an even worse throw to the defense to end the game. This was an opportunity given to you by the other team, and it did not take advantage. Now they lose by 8 points. On this drive right here, they could have at least tied the game, but because of 2 inaccurate passes, they're not able to take advantage. This just shows that they need some soul searching, in my opinion, because this offense has dropped significant in the last couple of games. And if they keep this up, there's an opportunity for them to be a one-and-done team. As good as they are, as well as they've done in the first half of the season, right now, the way that they're playing, I look at them as a potential one-and-done team if they do not improve. Whether Brandon is there or not, we can't talk about that no more. They got to get it done because they weren't thinking about having Brandon kill on this in this league before they joined the league. They came with the team that they came with. They're supposed to perform the way they're supposed to perform, and they're not doing that right now. I think they have some worrying. They have some worries that they need to fix, especially in the last game. And I think that it's Tone's job to help them fix that and get through these problems.
This team has been up and down. This is Blackout team. They don't. I mean, listen. We're not gonna kill them because they're definitely still a championship team.
I mean, I listen.
They lost.
I disagree. I would kill them.
The 2 games they lost. I mean, listen. The 2 games they lost was in the division. That's what's the problem. You lost to DG 12-7, and you lost to Grindtime 22-15. And it's the fact that they're not able to make certain plays that they get away. And I have to put this on their quarterback. Listen, I still say Brandon is a big part of what they do. Alex looked comfortable in the beginning of the season because Brandon was his star player. When you have your star player, it's going to open it up for other people. We're seeing Brandon, usually an outside guy. Blackout liked to put him in the slot. And him being in the slot opened it up for other guys. You see they're looking for offense. They put Kenny in the offense, something that you said that they needed to do. And what he did today, he caught 2 touchdowns. So if you got guys like Meek, you got Vadim, you got Greasy,
you got Mace,
you got other
Pranks.
guys on the team, and you had to bring your draft pick that you didn't start on offense in the beginning of the season, and you put them on offense this shit now. It's to show that there's a panic going on. Now, Kenny's a guy that can play both ways. He has to stay playing both ways. Again, Blackout is definitely a championship team, but they didn't look like it today. And I would be concerned because Alex missed some big throws. Some big throws out there. And if you're going to be showing the fact that you're a top quarterback, you have to show it on these plays, and he missed too many big throws. On the other side, the Grindtime, they show that they are not a fluke team. They've been to the championship 2 times in a row for a reason. Yes, they lost those games, but again, I would rather be the last one dancing than not even invited to the party. They went to 2 championships. It seems the team to be reckoned with and respected. But a lot of other teams got the hype. Everybody wants to see what Blackout looked like. Everybody wants to see what DG looked like with Chuck Thorne. Everybody wants to see about the Sharks team. They want to see what Never Scared do with the #1 pick. Nobody talked about the reigning conference champions in Grindtime. And now everybody's seeing, wow, Grindtime's in first place. This team is to be reckoned with. And they should have knew that coming in. This defense is playing even better than they played last year.
All of last year, yes.
So because the offense has took a little blip, it doesn't matter because the defense has lose back 110%, and that makes this team more dangerous.
I honestly feel like they need to make their defense the backbone of this team moving forward. If they haven't already, their defense should be the focus for this team. Listen to.
They got the reigning league MVP at the quarterback position.
I get it, but my thing is the reigning MVP at the quarterback position threw 4 pick sixes this season. So at the end of the day, we already know that it's not going to be the same season as it was last year. But at the same time, their defense has played better than they ever played since they've come into this league. I've never remembered their defense playing as well as they did. Not to take away from their defense of the past, but their defense is dominant right now. So I would make that their focus right now. Not to say that we give up on offense, but as long as the defense is the focus, the offense will pick up the slack eventually. They will recover and make the plays that they need to make. Take the pressure off of them. As long as the defense is able to perform consistently, the offense is going to play eventually the way they need to. As long as the pressure's off of the offense, they're going to perform. That's all I'm saying. Let's not make the offense be the whole focus of this team right now because their defense is doing so well.
Good point. I still think Lou's going to be able to turn it around. He's still throwing 14 touchdown passes this season.
Yes.
Now, yes, his 7 interceptions is way more than he had. Or he threw 3 last year. 3.
Yeah.
So his 7 interceptions are a lot, but it doesn't matter because the team is still 5-1.
Yes.
First place in the division, and that's all that matters to this team. We're going to wrap this up with Grindtime coming away with the win over Blackout, 22-14. We'll be right back.
Stay with him, dog. Stay with him.
Next game up, we're going to have Never Scared versus them Gettas. Now, Never Scared is coming in off of a loss to the defending champ, Rep City. And DG is coming in to a win, beating Blackout, giving Blackout their first loss of the season. Now, these two teams look very different. And not highly crazy different, but in a way that, no, let me say that again. Start over. Now, these teams coming in are definitely two formidable teams, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Never Scared is coming in, and Never Scared is coming in. Their offense in this season, they have the number 2 offense in the league. And efficiency, they're number 2 in efficiency. So this team can play and this team can score. As you see, they're scoring 22.6 points a game, as you see on the chart there. The problem with Never Scared is they cannot stop a nosebleed. They can't. Last year, they couldn't catch a cold in Alaska, butt naked eating a Snickers. That's what, as my man Ty used to always say. They can catch this season, they can score. But defensively, they're terrible. Like I said, they can't stop a nosebleed. This defense is the worst defense in the league, giving up 23.8 points a game, as you see on the list, and their efficiency is 14th as they give up 60% of the time points. So their defense is very terrible. They have Ed coaching, they have Tiki coaching, and even with those 2 guys on the sideline, this defense has not improved this season. One of the worst defense, not only this year, possibly of all time. And then on this DG team. Now, their defense has been playing really well. You know, their defense is 4th in points. And in efficiency, they're 5th. So they're on the top 5 in defense in both categories. Now, their offense, they went out and got Chuck as their starting quarterback. Their offense in efficiency, they're 7th in efficiency. And in scoring, they're 8th. So when you drafted Chuck, number 2, you're kind of expected to be at least in the top 5 in offense, which they are not. But I don't put it on Chuck. I put it on the lack of weapons here. Hollywood spent all his money getting a quarterback. He didn't spend money, and we don't really need money, but you know what I mean. He didn't spend money to go out and get playmakers. he got a lot of players out of their prime playing on this team. I've been saying it all season. Guys out of their primes. Megatron out of his prime. Lou, the Admiral, out of his prime. Moses out of his prime. Trev left. So Randy left. 2 young guys left that was supposed to be on this team. So this offense is more dependent on Cable and Wes.
Yeah.
Just the Carver bunch to help move the ball. Now, they're not speedsters. They're not going to shoot every down the field. But these guys are efficient. But they don't have playmakers downfield. Bones is, I'm sorry to say, he's a 50-50 guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes he makes a catch. Sometimes he don't. So because of that is why their offense is not elite. And it puts more pressure on their starting quarterback. And I don't think Vance has been able to figure it out yet.
Their offense has been their Achilles heel this season. And before, years ago, DG was an offensive juggernaut. I remember those days. They went to a championship with that offense. They haven't been the same the last couple of years, and it shows. Even with Chuck and a lot of guys from Carver coming to help this team out, they're still only 8th in offense. So they haven't really been able to figure out how to get the offense going consistently. And the fact that even Cable Guy and West show signs of slowing down as they played on this team. Is it because these guys are not used to playing together? I think that that's still the issue with this them Gettas team. I believe that they're going to get it together, but it's all about when. And when they finally get it together, will it be too late?
But when? Chuck is having – right now, Chuck is 14-3. 14 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Yeah. It's not him. But again, I got a bunch of guys past their prime. I just gave you a few, and I forgot to mention Timmy. He's not past his prime in age, but he's not in game shape yet. He's not jumping over people to make big catches. He's blocking. So this team is definitely not – and nobody's scared of them, which is why they're 3-3.
Yes, I think that's the main thing, yes.
It's the most losses that I believe Chuck and Hams ever had. I think they had it one time in their career in the UFL previously, but their offense is not putting any fear in anybody's heart.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to see, but their offense is playing one of the worst defenses in the league. So let's see how that turns out. Now we're going to jump into the game. There is no Travis. There is no Dave. There is no Chris. There is no Chris.
Yeah, neither of them.
60 to 70% of their team, and there's no Ricky. So Fred is going to get the start. Remember, Fred was injured, but gave up his starting spot to Chris, who has been playing lights out offensively. So we're going to have to see what happens, and we'll get into more details about the injuries at the end of the game. All right, Fred is going to get the ball. Fred, on 4 rush, is sacked by Julian. Great play by Julian here. They get a big sack. Third down, Fred on 4 rush, throws the Bishop in the gap, incomplete. Evan Scared is going to have to punt, and they can't score on their first drive.
And the pressure is what's going to affect the drive right here. Fred has not played in, I believe, the last, 3 to 4 games. So he's not going to be in the regular momentum to go in and get certain things done right away. He struggled on this one. He was under pressure on this drive right here. It was inevitable that this was going to happen. They have an unsuccessful drive and they're forced to punt.
All right, DG gets the ball. First down, Chuck with blocker from Julian. Throws to Josh open in the middle for a big gain and the first down. This Josh guy is pretty good. He's been making a few plays. Definitely a good player there. Second down, Chuck finds Cable Guy in front of the end zone for the touchdown. Cable gets the extra point. 7-0 DG. And again, Chuck has somebody who can spread and open the field. Got a big gain by finding Josh downfield, and what happened on the next play? They score. Yeah. That's what Chuck needs. Get somebody that's a burner that can open up the field, and then his money guys, West and Cable, will destroy you, and Cable gets a touchdown.
And this guy, Josh, has really been getting his stock up in this season so far with this DG team. He has been, and again, I'm going to say, even though you didn't, I think he's one of their more consistent players this season, especially on offense. He's able to get downfield and get some big plays here to keep the drive going. Has been a consistent target for Chuck this season, and he's pretty much the main reason why they're able to get into the end zone.
Fred gets the ball back after getting blitzed by Track. He's sacked by Julian. Big sack by Julian again. Julian's second sack of the day, bringing that pressure. After getting the first down, Fred on fourth down throws the nut in the gap, picked off by Josh. DG gets the ball back, and now we see Josh throwing it on both sides of the ball. Great interception by them, giving the ball back to this offense.
And he was able to read this play, knowing that the play was coming to nut. It was a play that that Fred was under pressure on 4 rush. He reads it, he steps up and makes the play for the interception, showing that he can do it on both sides of the field. Like I said, that his stock is going up, and on a play like that, now it's going up on both sides of the ball.
First down, Chuck throws it West in the gap, picked off by Rara to get the ball back. Rara with a great play. Rara's trying to make that all-star team and playing well this season. That's a great interception, and we see the GOAT make a mistake.
And this is a saving grace for this Never Scared team, because they don't even have their other best player right now in Chris. So you have to have at least one defender step up and make some plays. And that play is Rara reading this play, making a big play, getting the offense right back on the field.
Second down, Fred on 4 rushes, sacked by Julian. Julian's third sack of the day. And you can't tell me Never Scared don't miss Ricky. Never Scared can't move the ball any further. They're going to have to punt, giving the ball right back to DG again. Listen.
And the crazy thing is, Julian has gotten a sack at least once every single defensive drive so far. That shows that they are ready. They are able to put pressure on Fred. Fred has no protection in the pocket, and if Fred has no protection in the pocket, it's going to be hard for him to get into the end zone, showing yet again with another punt here.
Second down, after getting a short pass, Chuck throws deep to Bones in the middle, drop. Third down, Chuck with blocker from Julian, throws to West open on the sideline, getting him to the 48-yard line. If you look here, Baba leaves the sideline and leaves West open. Baba just got a pick. I think he was being a little too greedy, looking for another one, and leaves West wide open. After getting the first down, Chuck with blocker from Julian, throws a Megatron in the middle for a nice gain. Again, Chuck is trying to get it all around to all different players. Great play there by Chuck moving the ball. Chuck with 2 more passes, getting him to the 5-yard line. Last play to have, Chuck scrambles on 4 rush, throws to Josh in the end zone, off target, incomplete, taking us into the half, 7-0, GG with the lead.
This could have been another touchdown. I would have been happy if I was DG. I would be a little more happy with them scoring 2 touchdowns in this first half, but they only would manage to get 1. But I'm satisfied with the way their defense has been playing. They've been putting pressure on Fred, not giving him any opportunity to get some momentum out there. This is how you contain this offense and keep them from scoring. Because one thing that they've been able to do with either Fred or with Chris is they were able to put up points this season. So by keeping them under pressure, sacking them, and making them worried about the pressure coming in, it keeps them from getting any momentum on offense. And I believe if they're able to keep doing that, they're going to have a successful second half.
2 punts and an interception. I'm never scared. Not going to get it done. Defense is helping us, something that we're surprised our defense is doing. That held Chuck to 1 for 3 with an interception. So whoever this imposter, never scared defense is, they need to stick around a little bit longer. You know what I mean? This stepdad needs to stay, and daddy needs to stay wherever he's at, and I need stepdad to stay here because he's doing a much better job than that, to be honest with you. Now, Tiki's here, but it's like he's not here. Earn your money, coach. You're coaching, right? You said you came to make this team better, right? Well, you earn your money when you show what you're able to do, especially without your stars. When you got Travis, Dave on the field, and right now you have to be MVP, All-Star, and Chris, comeback player of the year, here, it's easier to coach. But you make your money when you show who you can do it with when your stars are not here. We didn't see nothing in the first half. Now, defensively, yes, we have seen something for a defense that's not known to make stops. I mean, they wouldn't even have a stop sign. That's how bad they are. But they're playing better today. So I give Tiki credit. But now the offense isn't working. Is it because Chris is the better quarterback? Because we've seen Chris start because Fred was hurt. Well, if Fred is playing, that means he's not hurt. So we're going to have to see how this goes down the line. Maybe they made the change because Chris is the better quarterback. I don't know. We're going to have to see what's going on. We're going to jump into the second half. Chuck with blocking by Julian. Throws to Josh, open in the gap, who runs for a nice gain and a first down. I think you're right. I'm going to have to start paying more attention to this guy, Josh, because he's making some big plays. Another play there. Chuck with 2 more passes in the gap for a nice gain, getting to the 10-yard line. You look here, the defense is giving the receivers a little too much space, backing up. 3rd and goal. Chuck on forward rush finds West in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. If you look here, Chris gets beat as West cuts inside. Cable guy gets an extra point. 14-0. The Carver guys is bailing this DG team out.
Yeah, I would say the Carver guys and Josh's consistent play.
Yep.
They've been playing very well on this offensive team, giving Chuck some targets out there, and I believe Josh helped them not only with the pass we showcased, but on the couple passes that was dumped off downfield. The thing about Never Scared right now is they're giving too much space to the offenses. They're
Correct.
giving too much space to the receivers, and because of that, Chuck is going to take what you give him and more. This is
All the
something
time.
that Chuck has been made. He made his name on this. So you should know how to play at least some defense on this quarterback. Unfortunately, they do the very thing that you do not do, and Chuck is able to find the end zone for the score here.
Never Scared is going to get the ball going 4 and out. 2nd down, Fred is blitzed and sacked by Rob. Never Scared is going to get the ball back 4 and out right now. 2nd down, Fred is blitzed and sacked by Rob. Rob is able to get by Mays and get the sack. Mays not a blocker. That's not what he does. Fred is more of the blocker. Ricky's more of the blocker. It's not what Mays does as a defensive player. So, of course, he has no chance here. Gives up the sack. Fred with 2 more passes to get, but end up getting stopped at the 20-yard line or turnover. They get stopped yet again. 2nd down, Chuck throws a Cable open in the middle for a nice gain. If you look here, Ira points him out, but nobody picks him up. Chuck then with 3 passes in the gap, getting him to the 3-yard line. 4th and goal. Chuck scrambles on forward rush. Throws to Josh, cutting in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. End of the game. DG comes away with the win, 20-0.
First of all, I got to say one thing. Josh, in this game, had 2 touchdowns and an interception.
Yep.
That is a huge game. Huge game. And Josh showing, that he is going to be trying his best to be a main factor on his team. And it shows with the numbers he put up today. Now, it was against Never Scared's bad defense. I get it. But still, you got to give someone props when they're able to make plays like that. Right now, them Gettas started very slow. They started in the second half to really pick up. They was able to score in the first half, but in the second half, that was when it was ready to put the game away, and that's exactly what they did. But Chuck is starting to look like the Chuck of old, taking what the defense gives, taking more. These guys, West and Cable, getting into these plays. You have Josh with some big plays in the gaps. Even Megatron got some plays, certain passes down, in the field. So when Chuck is able to stay in the pocket, be comfortable, and make these plays, their offense is going to look that much better, just like today. And give shout out to Julie, who was able to protect them while making 3 sacks this game. So this team played really well towards the end of the game. They did what they had to come away with an impressive win in this one.
I think I said it be wrong in the beginning. They're 3-3 now. DG came in this game.
Yes.
2-3. They're 3-3 now.
Much needed win.
Right. Listen. This is what you expect. This is a win that they needed. They went out and got. Shout to them. I don't think all their problems are solved because they played a very inconsistent, Never Scared team without their superstars. But you can only play who's in front of you, and they beat them. So definitely, we're gonna have to see how that goes down the line with DG. Now, Never Scared. Never Scared went 0 for 4 with Fred. Now, you're not gonna win games with like I said, no Travis, no Dave, no Chris, no Ricky. Those are some big name players. Sean hasn't looked the way he looked in the past this season. They just didn't look like themselves. And it's okay because you was missing half your team, but they got to get it together because if not, you're going to end up facing maybe a Blackout or a Grindtime in the first round. Now, they may be okay with that, but you want to start getting it moving, you know. And Tiki was brought in as a coach to help this team. Well, this team right now, I believe, is 2-5.
Yeah.
How much help has he been? You know, and listen, it's all about winning the championship. You know, a lot of guys say, you know, the regular season is the test. Well, they better get a cheat sheet because right now it's looking like they're going to get a big F. As like I said, they are 2-5 right now. Still have a terrible defense, and now your offense couldn't get it popping. Something's wrong. I know there was missing guys.
Yeah.
I know there was missing guys. But to me, it's clear that Chris has to stay the starter of this team.
Yeah.
Has to stay in the tight end position. No shots at him, but this team is a pedal to the metal, stretch the field team, and they do it better with Chris as Fred can go to the tight end.
And you could tell that they were short-handed at this game. Besides Rara, the only other person that I really noticed that was giving an effort to make something happen, hilariously so, was Bishop. They had him at the ball giver this game. Couldn't get through Julian. Chuck had all the time in the world this game. But I'm going to show you a couple plays here. Bishop trying his best to get through the line, get through the block. He actually tried to crawl under Julian a couple times to try to get through to try to make a play. But when that's the best effort that you have on defense, you're going to be labeled as a joke. You know, not to say nothing disrespectful, but it is what it is. And they're going to be beyond a one-and-done team in the playoffs if this is how they walk in into the playoffs. So they have a lot at this point. It's not even about fixing. It's about just improving what you already have. You know, you miss Travis in a lot of these games. You know, he hasn't been here. You know, you have Dave LeGree going through a tough time, so you can't kill him for not being here. But you cannot afford to miss your best player this season in Chris. I'm talking about Super Friends Chris. They got to have him on the field.
He's banged up. He's banged up. He was banged up.
He was hurt. So that's a big loss for this Never Scared team. Even more so, in my opinion, to losing Travis because he's been the most consistent out there, barring Chris as the quarterback. So these two, both Chris's need to be on the field. I just got to put it out there. They both need to be on the field if this Never Scared team is going to have any chance of competing in the playoffs.
Yeah, you're right. And if you look, I'm going to show Chris's numbers. First this season, as you see his numbers on the screen, Chris has 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So he has been the clear top player on the team. And the quarterback, the other Chris, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, as you see there. So they missed both Chris, the CNC connection. You know, unfortunately, their defense isn't going to get much better. But when you're missing your quarterback, who's been playing lights out since he became a starter, and you're missing Chris, who leads the team in touchdown passes, this is going to happen. But again, I didn't see Tiki do anything to stop the bleeding, especially offensively. I have to put a lot on him because I need to see what he can do to help this team win some games. It's 2-5.
Yeah.
So record-wise, they don't look much better than they looked last season. Now, we could say I have a top offense, but the record ain't showing it. We're going to wrap this one up. We're going to try to get an interview with Pam's on Zoom. If we can't get that, we'll get it next week. But just wanted to throw that at y'all. But we're going to wrap this game up with DG coming away with the win, 20-0. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, people. Welcome back. We're going to jump to the next game. Next game we're going to talk about is a huge game. We're going to have the Monarchs versus the Sharks. Monarchs are coming in off of a loss to UTF. As the Sharks are coming in to a win, they beat Don't Sleep. Now, I still say the Sharks as a team, don't worry about their record. Whatever they end the record with, the season with. They're a top team. First of all, They got a reigning UFL 3-time champ at the quarterback position in Akon. They have a UFL former league MVP in Drake. They got a UFL MVP runner-up and an all-star MVP in Herbie. So those guys alone, they got their draft pick, Mo, who was a former UFL all-star in his first year in the UFL. You got Ralph, a former all-star. This team has weapons on their roster. So I think that they're a team that you cannot worry about their record. The problem that I have with them is sometimes they get in their own way. And on the other side, you have the Monarchs. Gaz is up there for the coach/captain of the year after having a top team in the division last season, I should say.
Yeah.
They got a draft pick. I believe they were 4th in the draft.
Yeah.
Moved back in the draft in a trade with UTF to get some league fee compensation.
Mm-hmm.
They used that and flipped that to draft one of the top players in the league in Henry. They also got another thing from UTF who cut their reigning offensive player of the year in Ramsey. They picked him up. So, and now this team is playing great at 4-1. So you got to give guys, put him up there as a potential captain of the year. Ramsey leads the league in touchdown passes. They have the #1 offense in the league. Their efficiency, they're #1. This Monarchs offense scores 62% of the time. They're scoring 24.6 points a game. They lead the league. The problem, I think, is, one, sometimes they let off the gas a little bit, and two, their defense is not what it was last season. Now, last season, they had a top-notch defense last season. Mm-hmm. This year, they're giving up points 41% of the time, which is 8th. That ain't great defensively, right? And then points-wise, they're giving up 17.2 points a game, which is 8th. Their defense is definitely not what it was last year, even though they got Henry back there, even though they got Bell back there, even though they added Benny back there. This defense is not what they were last season, and they missed Damo, who's not going to be here this game.
And I think that that's a big factor. When they don't have that pass rush, the person who's able to put pressure on the quarterback, I think that makes a big difference. Now, it didn't matter when they faced UTF because Damo was here during that game against UTF, and UTF outscored them that game. I believe that UTF had 5 touchdowns that game. So at the end of the day, they gave up more touchdowns than they did last season. They still got a lot of picks this season and everything like that, but it didn't amount to them stopping teams and reducing the amount of scoring that they was able to stop. So that's a difference. But with all of that said, there's a team that's able to score almost on command. 60% they're able to score. That's ridiculous. And a lot of people feel like, Ramsey was not a big deal and everything like that. He has a lot to prove, but he's shown that at the end of the day, regardless of what you say about him, this man knows how to score no matter what team he plays for.
That's true.
And you got to give him some credit when he's able to play at that level. Now, I also have to give Ramsey's able to connect with Henry a lot this season. He's been utilizing him a lot more and more as the season goes along. Henry already has 4 touchdowns this season. And he
dropped a few.
Yes, he dropped a few. I remember him dropping like 3 in one game. So he's supposed to have at least 7 touchdowns or more already this season. So these guys are connecting. Ramsey's able to get these guys into the end zone. It's just if the defense is able to hold and keep teams from scoring enough points to edge them out. I think that's the big the deal breaker right there. I think that's the main issue right there.
The main thing this game is they're not going to have Javon. And you could talk about Bell. You could talk about Henry. You could talk about all those other guys. Javon has been their most consistent guy. And Ramsey has killed with him in the slot,
Yes.
and he will not be here this game.
That is a difference maker for their offense. He has been one of the main catalysts for their success this season.
Yep.
Because he helps them drive down the field, and it gives Ramsey more options than just chucking it downfield.
Yep.
Because Javon is a person that can get open in the gaps. He's a tall guy. He has good hands, and he has relative speed. So he is a weapon in the gaps to get them downfield to give Ramsey more options. And I think that's what helped them with their success. And it's a big blow to the offense that he's not here.
Now, the Sharks, which we didn't mention about their offense, about their numbers, listen, you got to talk about the Sharks. First of all, their offense has been top. Regardless of who they have throwing, their offense right now has been able to move the ball. Efficiency, they're the third most efficient offense in the league. That means they score when they have an opportunity to. They're scoring 51% of the time. 51.8 goes to 52% of the time. That is fourth. Now, they don't score enough points because I don't think they're, and I'm going to tell you why. Right now, their offense, they're fourth in scoring. Got to give them that. They're doing what they got to do on the offensive side. But on the defensive side, they have one of the worst defenses in the league. They're giving up points 59% of the time. That's 14th. And they're giving up 21.8 points a game. They're the second worst defense in the league. Only Never Scared gives up more points. So the problem is this defense ain't stopping anybody. Their offense is great regardless if it's Stevie or Akon throwing, but their defense leaves a lot to be wanted, and that's the issue with this team. I want to throw that out, and we're going to have to see what happens. But if two top offenses playing each other, we're going to have to see how it goes. We'll jump right into the game. Monarchs get the ball. Second half to 48. Ramsey goes deep to Henry. Open on the sideline for a big gain and a first down. Let me tell you something. You know who Henry reminds me of? Terrell Owens. The guy got speed. The guy gets open. Is there a guy that likes the spotlight like T.O.? The problem is he drops passes like T.O. Yeah. But the thing about it is when he makes plays, this guy makes plays, and he has the ability to be the best player in the league. Great catch there by him. Second and goal at the 5-yard line. Ramsey finds Bell in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. 6-0. Monarchs score.
Big plays like that with when Henry is how they get into the end zone. And you got to know that Rams is going to take shots if you give their receivers too much space. And given right there, you give him an opportunity, he's going to find these receivers downfield. That's exactly what he did, and he seals the deal, finding Bell in the end zone for the score here.
After getting the first down, Akon with blocking from block, runs in the gap for a decent game. Second down, Akon throws the pass, cutting in the gap, getting to the 5-yard line. That's why they wanted Cass. Cass has definitely still got a lot left in the tank. Definitely an offensive weapon, showing his move there. Third and goal, Akon finds Dre in the front of the end zone for the touchdown. Ralph gets the extra point. 7-6, Sharks take the lead.
And this is the type of play you need from Akon. He's able to make the right decisions to keep the drive going. After they got the first down, Akon running down the field for a big gain. Then you have him finding Kaz in the gap right there. So him running the ball, finding his receivers in the gap, that's Akon doing whatever he has to keep the offense moving and getting them to the end zone there. Now,
mind you, this is a straight-through game, so it's going to be no halftime. You're going to have Ramsey getting the ball back, 4 and out. First down, Ramsey throws the ball in the gap for a nice gain, getting to the 20-yard line. Third down, Ramsey gets missed by Dre, rolls to his left and throws to Malachi in the middle, picked off by Stevie, giving it back to the Sharks. If you look here, Ramsey could have ran the ball. And this is the old Ramsey, unfortunately, sticking his head up. Remember me? He threw an interception to the backup quarterback. And these are the stuff that drove UTF. If I had hair, These are the stuff that drove UTF crazy last season. These mistakes, big turnover there by Ramsey.
And the sad part is, if you look at the lane that Ramsey had, this is a good about, I would say, 10 yards, getting them into the red zone for a play close to the end zone. So all Ramsey had to do, the only person that was next to him was Bob. And Ramsey can easily outrun Bob if he wanted to. But he chooses to try his best to throw the ball. And remember, Ramsey could be one of the better running quarterbacks in the league right now if he chose to be. But he chooses to make a throw that he doesn't need to, and because of that, he throws an unnecessary interception.
Sharks struggle to move the ball, and they're going to have to punt. Ramsey gets the ball back. First down, Ramsey throws 2 passes in the gap for a nice game, getting to the 7-yard line. Third down, Ramsey's blitzed by Drake, who gets by Kaz. Ramsey throws to Henry in the gap, short, incomplete. 4th and goal, Ramsey throws to Bell in the gap. Bell not looking, incomplete. Turnover on downs, his offense gets stopped again.
And this is just miscommunication all around. You see Ramsey missing Henry with this incomplete pass here. Getting under pressure by Drake coming in and is not able to make an accurate pass. And then you see here, as Ramsey throws this pass here, they're miscommunicating with each other and it's causing plays to fail. And that's exactly what happens here with this turnover right here.
Akon gets the ball with 2 for a decent gain, getting him to the 30-yard line. 4th down, we're blocking by Stevie. He throws a Kaz on the sideline. Kaz not looking, picked off by Benny. Gets the ball back. This is why Monarchs wanted Benny. This is what Benny did last year on the defensive side of the ball. That's why he was an all-star. He made a great play here, great interception, gets the offense the ball back, right back for the Monarchs.
And this is pretty much what Monarchs was looking to for Benny to achieve once he got onto this on his team, adding to the much needed play that the defense needs this season. And Benny showing that he can be a top-notch defender right here, getting this interception, reading this play, and making good play for the defense, getting his offense back on the field.
Remember, the score is 7-6.
Yeah.
Monarchs can't move the ball again, and they're going to have to punt. Definitely not looking like the top offense in the league. Definitely gets stopped again. First down, Akon is blitzed by Mike. Akon throws a pass in the middle, tipped and picked off by Ty at the given position. And you got to say it, are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious? That is a great play there. That is a big mistake by Akon. They could have milked the clock. They could have put the game around me. It's too much time to be left on the clock. But you can't tell me this is not a wreck on their momentum after just coming over the top. They make a big play here, and this is what this Monarchs defense did last season. Great play by them there.
And one thing I can say, we can say, even though they're not as good as they were last year, one thing I could say that they have been consistent on is catching interceptions. And that's one thing that they're showing in this game already. They already have 2. And Ty makes a huge play at the given position, coming out of nowhere, reaching for the ball and getting an interception. Again, I'm not going to kill Akon. This is just a clear, great defensive play by Ty, getting an interception, putting this Monarchs team within striking distance of the end zone.
First and goal, Ramsey throws the Bell in the back of the end zone. Bell drops it, but it's caught by Henry in the end zone. 12-7, Monarchs take the lead. Great play by Henry, helping his guy out.
And Henry being at the right place at the right time, and Bell not sweating that he bobbled the ball on this play. He was saying on the field, that's what he got teammates for, to back him up. That's pretty much the motto of this Monarchs team.
Yeah.
When one person falls short, somebody else steps up. And that is why they've had so much success in this season so far. Because whenever one person makes a mistake, the next person steps up, and this plays in a testament to that.
12-7 Monarchs. After getting the first down, Akon runs in the gap for a decent game. Second out, Akon on 4 rush, throws it to Drake on the sideline. It's tipped by Malachi, picked off by Benny. Benny's second interception of the day. This is what you said. They're great at intercepting the ball. They close into the ball like a team. Malachi, former All-Star, with the tip, and Benny comes away with the cleanup on the interception. Akon's 3rd interception of the day.
And I'm going to say this. We said that they don't have as good defense on paper as they did last season. But let's just say this. I cannot take away the fact that regardless of what the numbers say, they still have a very capable defense, and a defense that you have to worry about if there's any offense out there, because they still have the knowledge and IQ to make some big defensive plays. And this is yet another play proving that right now.
Third down, after 2 short passes, Ramsey throws it to Malachi in the gap, knocked away by Kaz. Nobody open short, and the Monarchs have to punt again. This is an issue. You're talking about the best defense in the league. You're talking about a team that scores 62% of the time, and they must not have read their numbers because they are punting in their second punt of the day. After getting the first down, Akon throws the cast in the gap. That's going to be dropped. Third down, Akon throws the bop on the sideline at the 35-yard line. Remember, it is 12-7 Monarchs. Fourth down, Akon throws the cast open in the gap, caught in the end zone for the touchdown. If you look here, Mike steps up on the pump and leaves Cass open. They take the lead 13-12. They don't take the extra point because they got the lead. And before you talk, listen, we seen Akon do it last year to Steph Curry. You're not going to see him walk away because I saw it, but you're going to listen. Listen to this right here. He knew he had it. This was a set play. They knew the guy was going to bite on the pump. They knew Mike was going to bite on the pump. They went after Mike. Kaz is too much of a talented player. Definitely going to be a Hall of Famer in DFL and definitely makes a move. Mike is young, great guy, but unmatched on this. Kaz definitely beat him on his move, and that is a great play, 13-12 Sharks.
And one thing I got to give Akon is, again, he's not going to be one to run up the score like he did that first week of the season. But one thing I can say is he knows exactly who to attack on defense. He on that play, on a couple plays when he was a quarterback of Rep City, he knew exactly who to attack. When they played 99, he was attacking Twan. He attacked Twan a couple of times in that game against 99. That kind of sealed the deal for them. And here, he attacks Mike, knowing that he's going to bite on the pump. That was a play focused on Kaz the whole way, because he was the only one that got open on this play. If you look here, he's the only one open. If Mike stays with him on this play, this is a turnover on downs and most likely a win for the Monarchs. But because Mike bites on the pump, trying to make a play, Akon takes advantage. As soon as he throws the ball, you know he's going to score. And that confidence is something that you don't see with a lot of other players out there once they throw the ball like that.
All right, it is 13-12. Last play of the game. Ramsey with blocking from Kaz and Ty. Throws it up. Tipped by Herbie. Caught by Henry in the front of the end zone, but it's ruled out of bounds. Ty got flagged for the holding, so it would have brought the ball back anyway. But they said they say Henry was out. That's going to end the game 13-12. We're going to go over this whole play.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the holding play first and foremost. Because if it went either way, if it went against both guys, they would have got an extra play. Tell me what you saw in this play, and I'll give my comment.
And on a play like this, if you look here, right at the edge, it looks like, and I can't see which player that was, but as they were rushing in, it could look like he pulls Ty down as he's falling. And then Ty falls on him, you know. So as the ball is thrown, Ty got the flag for holding or whatnot, maybe for a pancake block. The defender rushing in pulled Ty down with him, and I guess the ref didn't catch that part of the play right there as he got pulled down. That's unfortunate because that could have been an offsetting penalty and a replay of that down.
Right.
Now, if we're going to talk about the catch in the back of the end zone, this is a tough play to determine because if you look at his other foot, it's hard to tell if it's on the ground or if it's already in the air as he's sliding out of bounds. So that is a hard judge from back there. That will have to be a play that would have to be challenged. And this could have went either way.
A close call is not a bad call.
Yes.
To go either way. But that's why I say Henry is he is the Terrell Owens of touch football. Yeah. He's a big play waiting to happen. Yes, he struggles with drops here and there, just like Terrell Owens did. But this guy is a playmaker. And this could have gone either way. For him to come up with this football, it's just amazing to me that he was able to make the play. But unfortunately, it was ruled out of bounds. And what does your gut tell you about the play?
First of all, I'm gonna say the gut whether I think it was in or out or whatever or what. That's what you're asking me.
Yeah.
I think that he was out. I think that it's hard. It's really hard to determine if he was in. So I would go with the call on the field. That's the only thing that you can do. And if the refs didn't see that he was in bounds, then you go with the play because that could have went either way. So I'm not, you know, worried about the call if it was a good call or not. It was close enough to the fact that it could go either way. So I'm satisfied with that call. But with all of that said, this could have been a win for the Monarchs on top of all of this that happened. You know what was the difference in this game that we didn't even talk about? How many extra points did Monarchs score this game?
None.
How many points did they lose by?
1.
So we could do simple math and show that if they would have got at least one extra point, this is a completely different game. So yes, they were able to score in the end zone, but a lot of times those extra points mean more than a touchdown. And this came back to bite them now. Now they are starting this is probably one of the lower games that the Monarchs was scoring. After scoring 60% of the time, they got stopped 4 times this game. That's not something that's satisfactory moving into the playoffs. This is a game that you do not want because so if they perform this way, they can lose the exact same way and they could be one and done in the playoffs.
I can appreciate what you're saying. Your number's a little off. They were 2 for 7. They had the ball 7 times.
Yes.
And scored twice. You're telling me.
Because I didn't count that last drive. Yes. So you're right.
You're telling me an offense that scores over 60% of the time only scored twice on 7 possessions?
Yeah.
You're talking about a team last season who's one of the top defenses in the season allowed Jeremy to get a walk-off touchdown in their last loss. You got all the firepower you can. If you can't close out games, you're going to lose. And this is the game that they couldn't close out. And they got lucky on that tip interception that they got at the line. Yeah. Because they ended up scoring on first down after that. But they had just turned the ball over. Now, I still think they're one of the most dangerous teams in the league.
Oh, yeah.
They showed that they give games away also.
Yes.
They showed that they don't have everything all together, and they're a very beatable team.
They showed that, you know, it's like you see, you love references and stuff like that for movies or whatever, and that this comes up with that line, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yes.
Right now. That's a perfect line for the situation that the Monarchs are going through right now because they were a team that was lights out up until that game against UTF. And that game was only changed because of one play that the defense gave up.
Yep.
Same thing here. The change of the game was one play that the defense gave up. This was a win. This is a win game for them. This is a win until they gave up that one play. So at the end of the day, they gave away this game. Now, am I going to kill them and say, oh my God, they're going to be one and done and all of that? Yeah, I made a hint on the score, whatnot, that they have to worry, but I'm still not worried that much about this Monarchs team. They are showing that they are a contender for a championship this year. They definitely are. So if they're able to fix these small mistakes, if Ram is able to fix these mistakes that he's made this game and he's able to learn from them, they are they are a top contender for the championship. And I have that's the opinion I'm gonna hold up until they lose in the playoffs, if they do.
Now, on the other hand, the Sharks are a team to be reckoned with.
Yes.
I've always said they had talent. Their defense is one of the worst defenses in the league.
And that's sad to say.
When they play, when they play 2 of the top teams, you know, and you maybe not matching the record as far as DG. They held Chuck, a guy right now with 14 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown passes, 1 interception. Ramsey, who I believe right now has 20 touchdown passes, they held him to 2 touchdown passes, 1 interception. And they held him 2 of 7 and I believe they did similar to Chuck as far as numbers. They have the supporting cast to shut teams down.
Yes.
They just got to put it together. Offensively, listen, when Rep City went and got Akon, he didn't go lights out.
No.
He didn't light up the score. He wasn't even a top quarterback. This game, he threw 3 interceptions in a row, but then got the game winner.
Yep.
That's why you got Akon, because he wins games. Doesn't matter how he does it. Doesn't matter the numbers if he do it. Then his numbers when he does it. The point is, he does it. The guy's a 3-time champion. He's won 3 consecutive chips. 2 with IOD, and then 1 with Rep City. The guy wins. He's a winner. So that's why he's at the starting quarterback. And when Stevie's able to catch passes and also get an interception, it helps. Now they got Kaz in the lineup making plays. Kaz got to stay as a starter because he's still capable of making plays. It's going to help your offense out. Your offense, that's already a top offense, like I said before. Your offense, again, like I said, the offense efficiency, they're third. Even though they're 3-3, the Sharks' offense efficiency is third. They score 51.8% of the time. You got to get his team their props. And the points per game, they score 18.4. They're 4th in scoring.
Yes.
So
Now,
this team is efficiency. Their defense, again, there's something to be worked with because they still give up points. But if they can hold down the fort and allow Akon to win the game, this team is still very dangerous. Once they get Mo healthy, they get Twan healthy, this team with Ja, Ed, Bop, Dre, Herbie, Ralph, and Orlando coaching, they're dangerous, man. Very dangerous. The big question I want to ask you is, right now, Ramsey is at 20 touchdown passes. In 2018, 2019, Corey had a combined touchdowns of 26 total, 23 passing, 3 rushing. And in 2014, 2015, Chuck had the most touchdown passes in the season with 25. My question to you is, will Corey pass both guys?
I don't see him passing Corey because Ramsey hasn't really had too many rushing touchdowns this year, if any. So I doubt that's going to happen. So that is out the window right there. So I'm really confident that he's not going to make it. In terms of beating Chuck's record for touchdowns in the season, it's possible. Now, numbers-wise, he'd have to have at least 2 touchdowns per game in order to do so. But that's actually a little less than their regular average in points per game. So I think that is possible. The test will be if they're going to be able to score 2 or more touchdowns against that Raiders defense that they're going to have to play. So that's going to be a test to their offense playing against the best defense in the league to see how well they really are.
They got Raiders, Gators, and PME.
Yes, I believe that there's a chance with PME and the Gators don't really have that good of a defense in most of their games. The test will be the Raiders. I believe that that's going to be a showdown, the best offense against the best defense. I can't wait to see it. And this is a test to see which the offense of Monarchs or the defense of Raiders is going to come away on top and get Ramsey to that 26 touchdown spot. I think he has a stronger chance to tie it than to beat it, in my opinion.
So you think he will not pass Corey? Which
I don't really think that he's going to pass it.
As far as combined touchdowns, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's pretty much the same record. If he can get 20 to pass Corey, he will need 27.
Yes.
So to pass Chuck in touchdown passes,
you'll have that 26. Yes.
But
so
as far as total touchdowns, which he don't have to have any rushing as long as he passed, 26, then he can break Corey's record. So you don't think he's going to get
I really don't think that he's
had
gonna.
7 touchdowns in 3 games?
I don't think he's gonna get 7. I think that he's gonna get a possible 6. I believe so, because there's a high chance that he can get at least 3 on that Gators team. So it's possible. The Raiders is gonna be a test though, because he may not score any. He may score 2 touchdowns. We don't know. It's up in the air because the Raiders are a really good defense, the best in the league, frankly. So at the end of the day, that's going to be the real test on if he can beat the record or not.
All right, we're going to wrap that game up. We're going to wrap this game up with Sharks beating Monarchs 13-12. We'll be right back.